A holy knight, defender of righteousness and wielder of divine magic, mixed with a mighty warrior fueled by primal rage and raw power. That's right, it's time for a formidable multi-classing combination of the Paladin and Barbarian classes. Hello adventurers, Archive here and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we'll be exploring one of my favourite builds in Baldur's Gate 3 to date, that being the Holy Rage Warrior, which is a blend of Barbarian's Fury and the Paladin's Justice. So be prepared to unleash your devastation and destruction upon your foes with this powerful multi-class build. Let's start off by building the foundations we're going to need for this particular build. The first thing we're going to be looking at is what race you should be picking. Now ideally you should be picking the Arfork, as this will give you features such as dark vision, relentless endurance and of course savage attack. These all pair very well with this particular build. Now with that said, this isn't set in stone, so feel free to go and experiment a little bit and pick the race that best suits your playstyle. Next up we have arguably one of the biggest impacts to our build, that being your stats, aka your ability scores. These should be carefully tailored to be creating the ultimate Holy Rage Warrior, meaning your stats should look a little something like this, making sure that you're prioritising strength, constitution, then your dexterity. Yes, I know we've not touched charisma as of yet, but we'll get to that a little bit later on down the line, not to worry. In Baldur's Gate 3, Barbarians are one of the most front-loaded classes in the game, meaning with just a few levels you're going to be getting a lot of your power at the start. Because of this, we're going to begin our journey by embracing your rage and taking your first 5 levels in Barbarian. At level 1 you'll be unlocking the ability to rage as a bonus action, which is going to let you deal 2 extra damage for 10 turns when dealing damage with a melee weapon, improvised weapons and when you throw an object. You'll also get resistances to all physical damage, including bludgeoning, piercing and slashing damage. Just be mindful though, at this level you're only able to rage a couple of times a day, but this will increase as you gain more levels in Barbarian. Another thing to note is that you will need to take a long rest to regain them. Now at level 2 you're going to be getting the feature Reckless Attack. Now this is a two-headed sword if you ask me, because not only will it give you advantage on your attacks, but you'll also give your enemies advantage on their attacks against you. But for the most part you're going to want to be using Reckless Attack, as you are a raging Barbarian after all, and you tend to have a lot more hit points than most other classes on the field. So being hit is not that big of a deal for yourself, especially when you can kill your enemies a lot faster than they can kill you. At level 3 it's time to pick up your Barbarian subclass, and the one you're going to want to pick up here is the Berserker. Now this works really well because whilst you're raging you're able to use your bonus action to Frenzy Strike. This allows you to deal even more damage on the battlefield. But do be mindful that when performing this attack, you will stack up something called Frenzy Strain. This will basically affect your attack rolls whilst you're in that particular rage. When you do end your rage, it will go away. So only use this attack when you need to go all out. At level 4, you're going to either get to pick up an ability score improvement or a feat. For this particular build, we're going to want to pick up a feat, and the one you're going to want to get is Great Weapon Master. This lets you deal an additional 10 damage when making an attack with heavy weapons that you are proficient with. The downside to this on the other hand is that you have to take a -5 to your attack rolls. Now if you do the maths and work it all out, and add in the fact that you're able to have advantage on every attack, this basically means you're going to be putting out more damage on average. And as a side note, you are able to toggle this feature on and off, so feel free to turn it off for them targets that are a little harder to hit. Level 5 you're going to be gaining the extra attack feature, meaning you're able to attack twice when making an attack action. Pair that with a frenzy attack and your enemies are not going to know what hit them. We interrupt this program to bring you this important message. Did you know it costs absolutely nothing to subscribe to Archive Gaming, and yet most of you watching have not done so? Well, it's time to remedy that. Go ahead and click that subscribe button, or you can head down to the bottom right corner where you'll see an icon. Feel free to click on that and subscribe that way. Thank you in advance. Now, back to the video. Now it's time to channel your inner divinity, because at level 6 we're going to be taking some levels in Paladin. Here you have the freedom to choose whatever subclass that resonates most with your character's story or playstyle, as it really doesn't affect any of this build whatsoever. At level 7 we are now level 5 Barbarian and level 2 Paladin, meaning your path to becoming the Holy Rage Warrior has truly begun, because now you have access to the powerful spell Smite. And if we're being completely honest with ourselves, this is the only spell that really matters for this particular build. Now we do get access to some other useful spells, but for the most part we're not going to be able to use any of these whilst we're raging, so be sure to pick up spells that you can use outside of combat. And nope, just before you ask, rage doesn't affect Divine Smite. For this level you're also going to get to choose your fighting style. The one I recommend for you here is Great Weapon Fighting. This essentially allows you to re-roll the 1s and 2s on your damage die. Now, is it the best option? Probably not, but it will help from time to time and is probably the most relevant out of the 4 for this particular build. Level 8, it's respec time. Like I said previously, you don't need a lot of levels in Barbarian to get the best out of them. So let's swap our levels around a little bit, putting 5 levels into Paladin now and 3 into Barbarian, giving you access to level 2 spells, meaning level 2 smites. It would be a good point for you to readjust your ability points as well, so that they look a little something like this. Making sure you're prioritising your strength, followed by your charisma, then constitution, then whatever you have left into your dexterity. At level 9, this is where I'd recommend you putting another level into Barbarian so that you can get the ability score improvement, bringing your strength up to 18. From then on you're going to want to put the rest of your levels into Paladin until you reach max level. This will allow you to gain features such as Aura of Protection, which is arguably one of the best abilities in the game, and Aura of Warding. You'll also be able to put 2 more ability scores into your strength, maxing it up to 20. So what do you think could be done to improve the Holy Rage Warrior? Let me know in the comments down below. For me personally, this build has been so much fun to play with, and is my go-to every time I pick up Karlach as a companion. And there we have it guys, my Paladin and Barbarian multiclass build. The build I used to conquer the challenges of Faerun. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to help me out by giving me a thumbs up, and whilst you're down there, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well. If you want more Baldur's Gate 3 content, there'll be a couple of videos on screen that you can check out. Thanks for watching, and until the next time, embrace your inner rage and forge ahead. Happy adventuring, bye.